how to face reality so that you can truly change your life, how to face reality. That's what I'm going to talk about today. But first, it is validation time. I need to inhale your love, admiration, and respect. To do so, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit the little notification bell so that you can send dopamine hits to your brain right away. All other platforms, please, emoji heart me, like me, love me. Okay. I'm deep in the weeds of working on my new book that'll come out in January, by the way. And one of the main themes of the book is understanding how to deal with the world the way it is versus the way that you think it should work. Now, I'm not clairvoyant. I don't have all the answers to everything, but you can just observe over time certain things that are just, they seem to be true. And currently in our society, there are people, primarily our societal overlords, who seem to believe they can change the nature of reality, and people are falling for it. For example, there's always going to be human nature. You cannot change human nature. But some people are somehow baffled when you are encountered with situations like betrayal, when you are encountered with situations of dealing with people who are self-interested, when you don't account for the way people actually are instead of the idealistic way you want them to be, then you're going to set yourself up for failure. The way that you deal with people is by understanding the way that they actually are, as opposed to the way you want them to be, and dealing with that accordingly. I know that there are different triggers that you can push in people's minds no matter what they say. That's what marketing and persuasion is. Don't watch what people say, watch what they do. If you took a survey, nobody would openly admit to watching porn, buying the National Enquirer, doing all these other things, but they do it. People make promises and then don't fulfill them, when you could look at their mental map of who they are and simply understand that they were telling you that dream, selling you that in order to get you to comply and just leave them alone. I'm going off on a tangent a little bit, but this idea of facing reality extends beyond just people, right? We have these politicians and leaders who are trying to sell you this message of, we're going to come in and save you. We're going to make everything equal. We're going to live in an egalitarian society. We're going to redistribute the wealth and everyone's going to be good. It goes against human nature. Utopia doesn't exist. And every time we've tried to pull it off, hundreds of millions of people have died. It's as simple as that. You can't change the undergirding of incentives of human nature and jam everyone into this homogenous box. You're always going to have the bourgeoisie and the proletariat. You're always going to have people who are going to be at the top. So you just want to, through your own merit and effort, try to get your way up there. Quit worrying about the hierarchical nature of the world, which persists infinitely, and just figure out how to climb that hierarchy. People are out on the streets complaining about inequality when they don't understand that inequality is just the default state of life. That's just how it is. From the alpha male gorilla leader of the tribe to the king of the jungle to all this stuff. Like, people, that's another thing. People act like we're not animals. We think because we have sentience and consciousness that we don't have animalistic natures, and that can't be played on, or that it can't be used to your advantage. You are a self-interested monkey. You might as well act like it. Status does matter, because as an animal, as an evolved sentient ape, you look at your own pecking order within the tribe, within the society, and it affects your well-being. So you should seek status. You should seek the accumulation of resources. You should seek power to a certain extent. Not because you want to be rich, famous, wealthy, greedy, but because your underpinnings as a human being necessitate that you acquire these things to have a better life. Like people they're not living in reality. I don't care about money. How do you not care about money? To say you don't care about money is to say that you don't live in reality. You can't pay your bills with emotions. You can't pay your rent with love. You can't buy a car with compassion. You need money. You need material resources. And often you need more material resources than you think you do. People look up and hate on wealthy people. Do you understand that you have to essentially be a millionaire to retire successfully if you want to maintain any sort of decent living after you stop working for the next 2 to 3 decades you might live past the period with which you work? Don't you understand that the accumulation of resources is not even something to aspire to? It's just, if you look at the world pragmatically and realistically, you would make no other deduction than that you should aim for these things. So, you guys can take all of your humility points. I call them humility points, right? Everyone's on social media posting about all the causes they care about, saying they don't care about money. I'm content. You get humility points. You get monopoly money for that. I want real money, not monopoly money, not virtue signaling money, not humility points, not pretending that the way the world works doesn't work points. I operate in the real world. There are many amazing things about the world we live in. With technology, you can build a life of your choosing from scratch. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to just ignore human nature and ignore the fact that people can be malicious and calculating. Like, what? Of course, people are good, and then people also do bad things. Account for reality. Things are unfair. The way life is set up is unfair. Things outside of your control dictate pieces of your destiny, but it doesn't have to dictate everything. But until you stop wishing that these outside forces weren't affecting your circumstances, you're just going to stay stuck. Looking at the sky and complaining about the nature of reality isn't going to change the nature of reality. And I see people every day on social media just having this pointless fight about this pointless culture war that is based on a pointless notion that there aren't certain underlying principles and timeless pieces of wisdom that we can draw from. Acting like everything is a blank slate. It's not how it works. You have to navigate within the real world. You have to navigate within the understanding of how the dynamics of the world work, from economics to human relationships to evolution to our animalistic nature. Take off your rose-colored glasses, step down from your pedestal in your soapbox, and quit trying to punch up at the same time. Live your life. You have to live in the world. So regardless of what your belief systems are, the real world will smack you in the fucking face if you let it. So don't. Okay, I rambled a little bit on that one, but we're going to go with it. You 2.0 is the book that'll help you face reality and reshape your thought patterns. Please like, comment, subscribe, share. Give me your 2 cents. Rebut me if you feel like. But it's time for you to step out into the real world and start making real decisions that are going to make a real impact.